Joining me today is Chris Markowski. He's the host of Watchdog on Wall Street. Chris, thank you so much for joining me again.
Good morning.
Yeah, so let's talk about these jobs report from September. 194,000 jobs were added. The unemployment rate is now at 4.8%. As always, what are your thoughts on these numbers that we see coming out this morning?
Well, I'm going to be honest. I do a little guess in my head every single month. I didn't think that they were going to be this week, but I didn't think that they were going to be anywhere near what the wizards of smart economists were saying with their various different mathematical models. Again, people need to understand. You can see for yourself what the conditions are on the ground. One of the keys to being successful as far as investing is concerned, you need to observe. You can take a look around. You can see the help wanted signs that are everywhere. You go to a restaurant and you're waiting for your food for an extra long period of time. You see, oh, there's only two waiters in the place. I have anecdotal evidence because I've got clients that own small businesses all over the country, and they're having a difficult time hiring people. People just not coming back to work. Many people maybe on the older end of the scale saying, you know what, I'm just going to retire, put in my Social Security, and I'm done. This is an issue that we have to deal with right now. And we see it right now in the supply chain as well. We don't have enough truck drivers. Story yesterday, we don't have enough coal miners. There's so many job openings here in the United States that people are not stepping up to fill them. So yes, it is problematic, but here's your key. Don't listen to economists with their various different mathematical models. They tend to be wrong most of the time.
Yes, well, we've talked about that before. I mean, just this month, I'm pretty sure the expectations were like 500,000 jobs. Obviously, the actual number was way below that. This was the first month that we didn't have those federal unemployment benefits going out. Those ended on Labor Day back in September. I was expecting a higher number. But as you pointed out, you can see with trends, with supply chain, that just wasn't the case.
Well, you got something, people who don't want to work, they've got something better. If you're a family and you have kids, you're getting a check every single month from the government if you make under a certain amount of money. They call it the child tax credit that they put out there. That's a hell of a lot more money than the extended unemployment benefits if you have a few kids. You can just take that and you can go with that. You're getting a check every single month. It's basically universal basic. It's universal basic income for people that make under a certain dollar amount and have children. And you can also take a look at how easy it is to go about actually getting it. You don't even have to prove that you have the kids or Social Security number. So I'm sure that there's a lot of fraud involved with this as well. But yeah, there's your option. A lot more money. You get, two kids. You're getting more from your government check every single month than you would from the extended unemployment.
Well, I thought it was interesting, just along the lines of this child tax credit. The Wall Street Journal wrote an editorial board piece this week, the child allowance welfare trap. And they actually pointed out that included in this $3.5 trillion bill that President Biden is trying to get passed, $3,600 per child.
Yeah.
I believe it's ages 6 and under, and then $3,000 per child for kids 6 to 17 through 2025. This piece points out that the result of that could be 1.5 million workers, or 2.6% of all working parents, could then exit the labor force, which obviously is not something that we want, but seems to be headed in that direction if this bill is passed, and that is included in it.
Yeah, again, you take a look at this. It is a step towards basically universal basic income. I'm all kind of old school, and I believe that I think it's good for a parent to be at home with their kids as much as possible. I think that's the model we want to strive for. Two parents within a household. These are more societal type of issues, but I don't think that this is something where the fellow taxpayers should pay for. Again, I understand, and I understand social safety nets, and I support social safety nets when people fall into trouble. But we turn them, they end up becoming endemic. They never go away. The goal should be to get people off of government assistance, not keep them on it. And we're heading in that direction. And if this bill goes through, make no bones about it. We've been heading to the left for a long period of time. You can take a look at the 1960s Great Society programs, but this is definitely going to make us much more aligned with European nations, Scandinavian nations, some of these other places around the globe. Do we really want that? I mean, take a look at the economic growth that we've seen in this country and compare it to there. Take a look at labor force participation. People who think that it's all hunky-dory over there, you have to go take a look. I've got family that's over there, and I go to Europe often. They've left a lot of their countries, in particular some of the Mediterranean countries, and moved to the UK and other places because that's where the jobs are. That's what creates a dynamic economy. You don't see many Elon Musks over in Europe. You don't see the type of innovation that we have here in the United States that unfortunately we're taking for granted. This comes from having that type of a dynamic workforce. Welfare state, helping people out, I get that. Social safety nets, but cradle to grave type stuff. This is going back to Obama with the Life of Julia thing that he had pitched out there back in 2012 is not the American way.
I just wanted to get your thoughts. I know you're in New York, and something that's been implemented are, these vaccine mandates for healthcare workers. As a result of that, many healthcare workers have been fired who haven't been vaccinated. Yep. Do you think these vaccine mandates moving forward will have an impact on the labor force? And how do you think that sort of separates people who aren't vaccinated to those who chose to get vaccinated moving forward?
I think it has to some degree already. Actually, there was a little bit of blowback in Los Angeles. I heard this morning the sheriff's department said he's not going to enforce the law because he'd lose another 10% of his staff, and he can't afford that, especially after all of the defund police stuff that's going on. You gotta, they keep pitching, go out and get vaccinated. That's fine, okay. I can't get my arms around the fact is that even if you get vaccinated, you can still get it and you can still give it to others. So if I've been vaccinated, full disclosure, I've been vaccinated, I've already had COVID. If I'm in a room full of people that are unvaccinated, I don't care. I don't even think twice about it. If it's something that concerns you or you're worried about it, then guess what? You can stay home. But, we're seeing, all over, in particular South, the SEC football games, 100,000 people at a game. Oh, we're told by Fauci and his gang, oh, don't do this, super spreader events. Hasn't turned out that way. It really hasn't. From the get-go with this thing, if you study viruses and various different pandemics in the past, they end up becoming, for the most part, endemic. And that's what this is going to be. It's going to be with us for a period of time. I've never had a flu vaccine. My choice. I decided to get this one. My choice. I don't understand what the issue is.
Well, as a Penn Stater, I am dying to get back into Beaver Stadium to enjoy a full stadium game again. I'm having a little bit of FOMO not being able to be in the stadium. So hopefully one of these days I'll get back to State College. But Chris, thank you so much for joining me today for another jobs report. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you next month for another interview about the jobs report. Hopefully better next time.
My pleasure. Thank you so much.